r/askreddit. What rule was made because of you? Men are allowed to wear business casual shorts in the office. Dress code didn't allow men to wear shorts, but did allow skirts. Showed up in a kilt until the rules changed. This man is a legend. I did that at my high school. They didn't allow people that identified as male to wear female clothing, so yup, I got a kilt, which is male clothing. The place I work used to have unlimited coffee for their employees. 3 weeks after I started working, there was a sign above the coffee maker that stated that employees were limited to 3 cups a day. How much coffee did you have to drink to accomplish this feat? I too ruined coffee for everyone else and got it restricted. I lined up shots of espresso and did 9, then had to go have a lie down when I started shaking and my eye was twitching. My senior year in HS, I had an English teacher who allowed all work to be turned in up to the last week of class. I turned in pretty much every assignment right about then, apart from the end of unit projects. Next semester, all the work for all units was due at the end of the unit. I'm pretty sure I am the reason for this exact same rule from one of my college professors. Didn't turn in any essays all semester, then crank out 10 in the library on the last day and slide them under his office door. I did this twice. I do indeed feel bad about it. When I was 12 I discovered what really is masturbation, and as all boys once experienced, at that age, every occasion was a good occasion. My dad brought me and my sisters to a hotel with a pool and a jacuzzi that we had access to from our room. It was getting late, almost 11h, so close to closing time. I was the only one left in the pool area, every blind was closed. I was alone in the jacuzzi and decided this was the perfect time to jack off. As I finished, I saw one of the hotel staff guys entering the pool area and calmly told me to go back into my room since the pools were closed. I went to my room believing I wasn't caught. The next day, the jacuzzi was closed because apparently a kid had sneezed in it and there was snot, which might have happened, but looking back it might also be my fault. About 1-2 months later we went back to that hotel and the rule to not masturbate in the jacuzzi was added. The thing is, 12 Wyoming never imagined that security cameras were a thing in the pool area, so looming back it is very embarrassing. This right here, that is golden. Oh my god, this is comedy platinum, mate. I'd give you an award but I still only have 1 karma, lol. Edit. Apparently now I have more. Thanks you Faithpa for telling me. Edit 2. Holy shit guys, I have way too much karma now. You can stop now, lol. My boyfriend and I went for vacations recently. It was close to nighttime and our first real holiday together. We were kind of drunk and were just chilling in the hot tub. Then very unlike us I hopped on him and had drunk sex for a bit without either of us finishing, lol. Next day hot tub was closed for maintenance. And the day after, and the day after. I felt really bad and guilty but we never got in trouble. I recently just beat cancer at 13. When I would stay at the hospital they would have to test my urine. Capri Suns made me pee better, and the floor had Capri Suns on the floor. Long story short, I depleted the Capri Sun supply on the whole floor twice. The cafeteria ended up making a rule that you have to order Capri Suns through them. If you have cancer at 13, you get anything damned thing you want, including a truckload of Capri Suns. Congratulations. Congrats on beating cancer, wishing you all the Capri Suns you want. The winery we had our wedding at no longer has weddings. I have a similar one. The club we had our wedding at offered 2 choices for drinks, either pay by the bottle or pay a flat fee per person per hour. We chose the flat fee. After our wedding, they stopped offering that option because they lost money overall on drinks. Students are prohibited from organizing, advertising, playing, observing, or otherwise engaging in any form of rummy, blackjack, Texas Hold'em, 5-stroke 7-card stud draw, pai-gow, or poker during lunch period. Poker chips and cards are prohibited from school grounds except when required for specific, pre-approved activities or projects. Violation of this policy is subject to expulsion and referral to law enforcement for illegal gambling. This was middle school, decades ago. Our first and last annual school district Texas Hold'em tournament, presented by Junior's Bait Shop, was a resounding success. It's not illegal if you don't bet. My old job, my numbers were suffering, and I was told I needed to shape up or I would be done. The way I saw it, there was no possible way to meet the numbers by following the process. It turned out I was right. Everyone else came to the conclusion, but no one challenged leadership. So everyone was doing their own thing, then doctoring up the system notes after the fact to make it look like the established business rules were effective. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting fired anyway. I documented everything I was doing different, in great detail, showing how my way was faster. Eventually I was found out, and I presented my findings, as well as my evidence of the doctoring everyone else was doing. As a result, they asked me to evaluate the processes for the entire department, and I ended up finding numerous areas of waste and inefficiencies, which we implemented to streamline things 2-3 times faster than before. On top of that, I was placed in charge of a special expedite team, to whom the rules did not apply, and we were given free rein to accomplish our assigned high priority tasks by any means necessary. I've moved on to another division, but the policies are still in effect today, and the expedite team is still a thing. Hey, congrats on improving the company. That's impressive. No singing Les Miserables at work. That first song with the prison was working. Me with a mop. Edit. Earlier in that shift, I brought about a rule against Bohemian Rhapsody too. Look down. Look down. Don't look them in the eye. Look down. Look down. You're here until you die. Can't imagine why they would stop people singing and keeping morale up. I used to work with a black dishwasher started singing spirituals if you asked him to do much. Shit got real when We Shall Overcome came out. So in 4th grade we had this thing called Wax Museum where you dressed up as a historical figure and gave presentation. So my friend was Harry Houdini and so he had handcuffs. So as 10-year-olds we were messing with them and my friend put them on me. These were not the cheap plastic ones at the dollar store, they were prop ones made from real metal. So they get stuck and long story short, I was in the office with 3 people around me trying to get the handcuffs open with pens and a pumpkin knife. My sister said when she had to do it there was no handcuffs allowed. Thanks Nathan for trapping me. We had this same assignment in 4th grade and I actually remember the teacher saying no handcuffs. The lacrosse team I played for in college isn't allowed to drink on team trips anymore. Duke. Tarantulas are not permitted on school property. The library started putting up signs about authorized computer activities because I remotely rebooted the computers of noisy kids over and over. To be fair, it was a library. Chaotic good. In elementary school, 2nd grade I think, I had to pee really bad, but I was in music class and my teacher was singing us a song and playing guitar, so I went up to her anyways and asked to pee and she got upset. And since then she would remind us all that we can't go up to her while she's singing to ask to pee. I just didn't want to pee my pants, woman. Some teachers need to realize that when a small child says they need to go to the bathroom, it means that they are going to the bathroom in the bathroom or right there. No selling Coca-Cola in the hallway. Tell me you worked for Pepsi. No lightsabers at the swimming pool. Co-workers must respect the costume choices of others. What did you do? A friend and I were skipping state mandated senior year testing because we didn't have homeroom classes, and were having breakfast at a restaurant, with our parents' permission, when the school district superintendent and our high school principal got seated at the booth right behind us. Some snarky comments and a couple of parental get out of jail free cards later, we both got off with no consequences. But from the next year on the school worked with city and county law enforcement to ensure no one else got away with the same thing. As far as I know they're still doing county-wide restaurant sweeps 20 some odd year later. Edit. A word. Edit 2. Another word. What an incredible waste of resources. Some dude was caught jerking off into a milkshake in a kitchen where I was the dishwasher. He was fired, but the cook jokingly proposed a rule. From now on, before we serve a milkshake, we squirt some of it into Jen's, a waitress, vagina. If she gets pregnant, we know it's contaminated. If she's not pregnant, she can just squirt it back into the cup. One of the other waiters was like, wait. Doesn't it take 9 months to find out if a girl is pregnant? I dropped a whole stack of dishes. I was laughing so hard. Aside from the jerking off, this is all totally normal kitchen conversation. My high school made us leave our backpacks in our lockers because my Spanish teacher tripped over mine and sprained her ankle. She was on crutches and everything. She was a raging bitch, but I still felt really bad. No obscene or disturbing costumes. For Halloween last year in school, I applied makeup following some YT tutorial I saw to make myself look like Two-Face from that Batman movie. Looked like my face was ripped off. I'm more disturbed at your spelling of Two-Face than I would have been at however obscene your costume was. Skirts must fall at least 3 inches below your testicles. There was supposed to be a cap on vacation time at one of my previous employers. I don't know why no one ever picked this up. It was a startup. Still, people had left before I did, but the vacation kept accruing. When I left, instead of 2 weeks in the bank, there were 5 weeks in there and they had to pay me. I'm sure they could have jumped through hoops, but there wasn't anything in the handbook that had a cap in writing, although we were told it was 2 weeks, so they just paid me. The fact I didn't leave on bad terms helped a lot, I'm sure. When I got the check, it was for 9 weeks, not 5. Why 9, you ask? We also had a policy that after 5 years you could take a month-long sabbatical. This was considered earned time, and if you didn't take it and left the company, it was payable as unused PTO. After I left, they made damn sure no one had more than 2 weeks of PTO banked, put out a new handbook, and they ended the sabbatical for new employees going forward. People grandfathered and got to keep it. No throwing graded homework assignments in the garbage after they're returned. I got into an argument with a high school teacher that had been gone for 3 weeks about how a paper was graded as the sub we had did not relay instructions correctly. We talked and talked and talked about how instructions were relayed versus what he had told the sub to tell us. Several other students backed me up. He wouldn't consider a redo on the assignment that half the class failed. Argument ended with me tearing the paper in half and tossing it in the garbage right at his desk. He tried saying that was extremely disrespectful to do as he spent a long time grading it. I said it's extremely disrespectful that you claim your instructions were relayed a certain way when you weren't even here and you have no student agreeing with you. Quick note, the teacher I had argued with was a longtime family friend of the principal. They went to the same church, had children in the same grade, grew up in the same small town. I was sent to the office and was kicked out of that class. The principal tried to suspend me for being insubordinate with throwing away my paper that was handed back. I said, I dare you to suspend me for something that every single one of your students does, including your daughter in my class. Insert smug look. 3 days later, grades K-12 gathered for an all-school assembly and the rule was unveiled. All the guys in my class laughed because they knew the story. The principal's daughter and her friends glared. Good times. Good times. Birds are not considered a pattern on polos for school dress code. I had a shirt with toucans on it and the dean called me out in front of the whole school. In high school, my group of friends and me started bringing a grill to school to make toasted ham cheese sandwiches in the lunch breaks. Soon after, more and more kids brought their grills to school. After about a week, the school banned grills on school property completely as they claimed it was a fire hazard. At a previous place of work, you cannot lock the wheels on the rolling carts. I had a micromanager that did not know how to do fucking anything my job entailed, but wouldn't let that stop him from telling me bullshit like we need 283 of a specific unit through to stress testing by the end of today or else there will be repercussions. Except we can't because a certain micromanager failed to order the fucking parts we needed to do that. Anyway, one day I was feeling like shit and did not want to deal with him. So I got every unit I'd need for that day, made some walls around me and locked the wheels on them so no one could get to me. Then for good measure I put on some music and cranked it up loud. It was hard to keep the smirk off my face when micromanager started poking his head into the open slots of units I'd already worked on trying to get my attention. My floor manager just sent me emails that day for whatever she needed, and all of that got done of course. Edit. Forgot to mention. I have no idea why the music was apparently fine but locking wheels was the issue. My high school's marching band is no longer allowed to stack bunk beds at the dorms we stayed at for band camp. Bring video game consoles to band camp. Visit the girls' dorm at band camp period. Sit next to the opposite gender on the band bus trips. All the bags need to be thoroughly searched for all band trips. Note, this was not my sole doing, but the combined efforts of basically my entire senior class in the band. Students are forbidden to jump out through the windows. My cousins and I were banned from playing near glass surfaces when we were younger. When I was 6, my cousin told me I wasn't as strong as him because I was a girl, and proceeded to hold the handle of the glass back door shut from the outside. I was pushing on the door to open it and somehow ended up with my left arm through the glass. My mom walked in and was horrified. Ended up getting 13 stitches on my arm, but at least my cousin will never forget the sheer strength of determined women. They banned handball. The school won with the rubber ball. At my primary because I kept on hitting the ball too hard and injured some people.